Trevenant has been one of the most popular Pokemon in 2023. But why? Its stats are poor, being heavily attack weighted with low bulk, and its typing is mediocre at best as it's so vulnerable. It takes super effective damage from 5 common types. So what is it that makes Trevenant any good at all? Well, I'm here to tell you. Here's a look at the 12 most common Pokemon in the 2023 Championship Series. Trevenant has 6 particularly good matchups here and 3 neutral. That makes Trevenant 75% likely to line up well against your opponent. Still, the number of positive matchups is not enough to make Trevenant good, as there are other Pokemon with similar win rates. What makes Trevenant so good is what combination of Pokemon it beats. When we talk about cores, we talk about Pokemon that pair well together, like peanut butter and jam, because when you first mix them, they are very tough to separate. Finding something that breaks that core is called a core break. Picture Fiona breaking up Shrek and Donkey, or Yoko Ono breaking up Lennon and McCartney. In this example, Medicham and Galarian Stunfisk are Lennon and McCartney, and Registeel and Swampert are Shrek and Donkey. So Trevenant is Fiona and Yoko Ono fused together into one Pokemon, making it incredibly valuable when team building. Running Trevenant makes it borderline impossible for your opponent to run your best Pokemon together. This is a clip from the winners finals in Knoxville Regionals and shows what Trevenant has to offer. Onion Frank on the left goes into game 1 with Medicham in the front and Lantern in the back. Both Pokemon are swept off the floor by Trevenant, and Rise to Occasion on the right side sends it out in the lead. Onion Frank swaps in his Sableye in an attempt to save the game. Unfortunately for them, Noctowl comes in and takes it out. Now Onion Frank is left with 2 Pokemon blasted off the stage by Trev. The only thing Rise had to do to win the game was to swap out the Trevenant when the Sableye came in.
A bit of an unfortunate ABA line from Onion Frank there, leading a Pokemon and having a Pokemon in the back that are both weak to the common Trevenant.
Now let's take a look at what can happen if you don't run Trevenant at all. This is from the winners finals in the Utrecht special event in Europe, and the winner will secure their trip to Japan to compete at Worlds. The competitor on the left, Statistan, does not have a Trevenant on his team. What does his opponent on the right do? They bring Medicham, Lantern, and Registeel to the game. All 3 lose super hard to Trev, but as Statistan isn't running it, Jonioa, the competitor on the right, can bring them together safely. Statistan has no way to break apart Jonioa's 3 best Pokemon, and loses 3 games in a row. So how come a Pokemon with terrible stats and a vulnerable typing is able to take out the best Pokemon in the game? Well, let's take it back a bit and look at the typing, because the resistances are actually really valuable. Resisting ground, water, and electric, and being immune to fighting and also normal, is what tailored Trevenant to counter these 4 Pokemon specifically. Registeel relies on fighting and electric type damage, Medicham mostly on fighting, Swampert on water and ground damage, and Galarian Stunfisk a lot on ground damage as well. It's basically suited for Trevenant. But Trevenant also beats the bad stuff. Offensively, the typing works really well too. Only 75 out of the more than 1,000 Pokemon that exist resist both Ghost and Grass. And some of them are completely irrelevant, like Pidgey or Nuzleaf, or even the unreleased Lokix. It's not even in Pokemon Go.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
So that means Trevenant has to lean into its offenses to win most of its matchups, and it's got the perfect moves to do so. If we compare Trevenant's moveset to his Halloween counterpart Gourgeist, there's one notable difference, and it's Shadow Claw. Generating a lot of energy while also doing significant damage is basically what makes Trevenant the Pokemon it is. So the key to Trevenant's success is its unique typing and amazing movesets, making up for its terrible stats. In my opinion, building a Pokemon party without Trevenant these days is super risky and usually not worth it at all, unless you're 100% sure of what you're doing. Thank you for watching the video. I'm trying to grow competitive Pokemon Go by showing how strategy, execution, and skill are necessities to do well. If you would kindly check to see if you're subscribed, I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, if there's any Pokemon you want me to highlight, any subject you want covered, or just want to let me know what a fool I am, please do so in the comments below. Now, get out of here.